But before that, we move, and I leave the word to the organizers or the promoter of this interesting webinar, who is the Datuk Dr. Yusof Basiron, who's the executive director of the CPOPC. It's the Council of Palm Oil Producing Country. So, Mr. Dr. Basiron, the word and the floor is to you, or I would say today still, the camera is to you.
Thank you, Professor Paganini. Can you hear me now?
Perfect. Yeah? Loud and clear.
Very good. And also, hello to Mr. Nico, also Imkia Singer, and good morning, distinguished speakers and participants in the EU, and good afternoon from thousands of kilometers away here in Southeast Asia for participants from this part of the world. I would like to thank everyone today for joining us our webinar session this afternoon. Today's webinar is part of CPOPC's webinar series that we have been running for the past 3 months during this COVID-19 pandemic. Today's topic is the prevalent use of palm oil-free labels in the EU, and it is a major concern to us as producers of palm oil because of its many negative implications to palm oil trade. The topic is perfectly spotlight as we are going to commemorate the World Food Day this week. Palm oil producing and consuming countries share responsibility to actively promote the attainment of goal number 12 of the SDG, Sustainable Development Goals, i.e., responsible production and consumption of commodities like palm oil, or sustainable production and consumption of commodities like palm oil. Therefore, this webinar reflects the partnership of fulfilling that responsibility. As an intergovernmental organization, CPOPC, we are fully aware that the European Union has a strong position to phase out palm oil in biofuel use via RED2 and even RED3, and also in food users in allowing the palm oil-free labels. However, the ongoing negative sentiments that have been existing for the longest time in the EU markets requires a consistent effort to build a common understanding, because we are facing a global challenge of growing consumption of vegetable oils, but slowing growth in the supply of vegetable oil because of limited arable land and threat of deforestation. I will not preach on how palm oil contributes to the attainment of SDGs in palm oil producing countries, because sustainable development is a core principle in the Treaty on the European Union and a priority objective for the Union's internal and external policies. The EU has a solid understanding on palm oil as the most sustainable, environmentally friendly oil crop because it requires less land and inorganic inputs to attain a high yield, and it provides higher economic incentives, especially to smallholder farmers throughout the world. Against this backdrop, to realize that there is a rising palm oil-free label on consumer products in the EU market is quite an irony. The trend set by the EU of banning palm oil for food use as implied by the palm oil-free label and for biofuel use via the RED2 directive is potentially very dangerous. If the trend is adopted by other countries, it means 70 million tons of palm oil that is currently produced has to be replaced with 70 million tons of soybean oil or rapeseed oil. It will require land 3 times the size of France for the world to produce 70 million tons of soya oil to replace palm oil. Imagine the deforestation that would entail, and it will make a mockery of the EU policies of the Green Deal or Fit 55 and all the climate change mitigation initiatives of the EU. Let me leave a sincere message here that in the light of expanding global demand and shortages of supply of oils and fats in the future projection, sustainably produced palm oil, as it is today, is offering the best solution to mitigate climate change through reduced deforestation and to provide the most balanced dietary oil to improve your good to bad cholesterol ratio far above the capability of all the other oils, especially trans fats. The fact that palm oil is offering these solutions and not become part of the perceived problems is borne by its ability to grow in its production from just 5 million tons in 1980 when I started my career to over 70 million tons annually today, dominating world trade and taking top spot as the largest oil produced using the least land to produce it compared to other oils and fats. Nonetheless, this afternoon's webinar is conducted to encourage everyone to listen and share views with notable experts who have been supporting sustainable palm oil endlessly. Ms. Imke Sesinga, and the food advisor of food legislation of the European Palm Oil Alliance, EPOA, and Mr. Nico Rosen, the honorary president of Solidaridad Network, and moderated by our longtime friend in the sustainable palm oil advocacy, Professor Petro Paganini. Let us have a balanced public discourse during this valuable opportunity, as it is our hope and desire that you will take advantage of this webinar to come up with valuable recommendations and conclusions that would be fairly beneficial to the interests of palm oil consuming and producing countries. What we have learned during this pandemic period is one thing: the imminent need to foster collaboration, starting from dialogue such as this. I wish you a more successful webinar. Thank you.